Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Rando fans. We have a fun matchup here in the second round of the playoffs between StructuralMike and Sin2324. I'm Stax28. We'll have Amaranth joining shortly. So we have an Ambrosia match today. Inverted Ambrosia. So we get Sword Assured, and all of the bosses have items as opposed to keys or map compass. And there's no boots hint. Looks like we also have Big Key will be shuffled except for the Ganon Tower Big Key. And it looks like Mike's getting some good bomb drops here. The Inverted's a bunch of fun. I don't play Inverted nearly enough. So a lot of the mechanics are kind of foreign to me still. So I'm looking forward to learning a lot more about this myself. StructuralMike picks up a bottle. And a bow. Okay, things are moving a little bit faster now. So the 2 checks out of the way, and moving on. Ether is in Link's house there. We'll get to find out in a little bit if that's going to be useful. Big Key to Tower of Hera. End hook shot. Small shield and the Moon Pearl. Okay. Hype Cave living up to its oft maligned name. Okay, looks like Sin's getting those same checks right now also. Sorry about that. I had someone at my door. I had to step away. So, in Thieves Town, I missed the first 2 checks here. Oh, well, there are the boots. I guess we didn't need the hint after all. It's always kind of fun getting that key early. Oh, and I missed the hammer in the C-shaped house. Yeah, a lot of progression very early. Get a little bit of money. Yeah, Arrow Game's a fun one. You see it a lot more in inverted than you do in standard rando. Alright, Sin's catching up there and getting the boots as well. That'll open up the dig game. And 10 arrows on, like, what, lucky dig spot 13? I'm a bit of an inverted newbie myself also, but I have seen Pod pretty early. There are a lot of checks, especially if you have the hammer and bow like we do. And it's a crystal. I think we'll probably get there very quickly. Okay, and Sin was able to get enough money for Pod. I have a feeling we'll see them going in that direction next. Yeah. Chest game, indeed. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I missed getting to see the chest game was checked, and I don't think so then. So that'd be interesting. We do get a flute, though, in Pod. That's very nice. Not going to be able to activate it quite yet. That's another one of the... It's another one of the fun little quirks about Inverted. You get to use it here, but you have to activate it in the light world. So we're not quite there yet. We still need gloves to get to that. Oh, it looks like Amaranth is joining me in the booth here. Maybe.
Hello, Stags. I'm here to give you a hand.
Hi, Amaranth. Thanks for joining here. We have a bit of a fun one going today.
Yeah, I see we're in Pod already.
Yeah, they found boots really quickly in Thieves Town. The flute was here in Pod. So Sin will get that very shortly.
Alright, interesting. So we're just looking for a glove for light world access then.
Correct. There's a lot of joking in chat about it being... Oh, there we go. It's the big key chest here in Pod. But Hype Cave was very strong. We had... what was in there? Moon Pearl and Hookshot. It was definitely a good one.
Oh wow, I could definitely see us probably heading to Death Mountain as soon as we had Light World then after hitting up Kakariko, because just the density will be so good. And this is Ambrosia, so I don't know, have we gone over the basics of Ambrosia already?
I did, but it's entirely possible that I missed something. So if you wanted to chime in with it, make sure that I got it right.
Just a quick recap would be, I believe it's a starting sword. Big keys are shuffled throughout the world, except for the GT big key, which is in GT, guaranteed. As well as all the usual fun inverted things, such as being able to access TR through the middle.
Yeah, there are a lot of different entrances that get changed, between Graveyard Ledge and Ice Palace, and TR, like you mentioned. So it does change some things.
I think one of the biggest things the runners will probably be looking for once they have Light World access is if Desert is a crystal, because then they'll know that the book is hard required to access Desert.
But otherwise, it's been a pretty quick start. It's been a lot of progress, a lot of progression items. We got the bow very, very quickly.
Yeah, and that's kind of also the nature of Ambrosia, is just sort of make sure to mix up the big keys, just to make sure that you don't have to do all those super crazy early, super tough Dark World bosses really early, like having to do 3 Heart Blind and 3 Heart Moth. Like, however, if you do find the Fire Rod, Moth could be a thing that you have to do, and that's a nice sword there.
Yeah, it's very handy starting with the sword, and getting the sword upgrade is very welcomed.
So we'll likely see Mike jump into Kakariko here probably real soon after, looks like he's just checking Bumper Ledge real fast. To go get the 700,000 items that are in Kakariko at this point.
No, but only 700,000 if you round down, right?
Yeah, exactly. And hope for maybe just a little bit of health. Got the blue mail, that's nice, but 3 hearts is never something you kind of just want to be sitting on casually. And heading to chess game. I'm guessing we dropped this earlier.
Yeah, both runners skipped it.
And that's the big to desert. That is that could be good.
There was a lot
It's
of
at least
hope in
nice to
chat
have.
that it would. Yeah, there was a lot of hope in chat that it would be the missing gloves.
Yeah, the main thing that's scary about inverted is just once you do have your light world access, everything just sort of is open and there's just a lot of places to go. So you really kind of got to be careful about following your logic and what items you want to follow and hoping that they lead to your progressions.
They do have the flute, so they'll want to open that up pretty soon.
And I think I saw that was 5-6 on Desert, Green Pendant Eastern, and Pendant Hera, so we will be needing that book, guaranteed.
So that ends up really interesting because Sin has not gone to chess game either. So if that's an accidental miss that got hit on the tracker anyway, that could spell disaster.
Well, for his sake, let's hope not.
Absolutely.
I especially hate seeing mismarks like that because I've personally done them myself and I really don't like them.
And if we don't get a ton more health, at least we have red mail.
A little bit of solace in that fact, at least. And the big key to Eastern. We are just getting all the pendant stuff ready, it seems. I'm doing the evil chat things in my head that I really don't like to do when I'm on comm, just starting to think of all the bad locations that the items could be.
Yeah, I was starting to wonder what... I mean, if everything is kind of steering toward the possibility of a pendant check, or a pedestal check. I guess there are a handful of things that could be there.
Now I'm trying to remember, I think in this mode, I believe the mirror is actually hard required for Hera. I could be wrong on that one. Chat can probably correct me. Thinking... No, we do have Hera access because we can get to the mountain. And we have hookshot and hammer, so we're good on that end at least. It's mirror and or hookshot hammer. I always forget that you can access Hera that way sometimes. And Mike, taking a moment there to think, well, where was I going again? I believe the initial thought starting here was, I'm going to go to Hype Cave, and no, we've already done that. And we're heading to Light World, so I guess we're going to other Hype Cave, Mini Molten Cave, probably, my guess. And, you know, at least see what's up in the dam.
So it looks like this is race 3 between these teams. And Last Locationeers having won the first 2.
Yeah, they're looking to take that that invitational spot and the spot in the conference finals. So I'm trying to close it out here today. Sin going through CAC here, finding the bug net so far. Not too much else here in Blind's house. Gets the silvers. Those are a nice convenience item.
Yeah, definitely not required for runners of this caliber, but it's a luxury item that they will not turn down.
Especially if, in the strange case, that another sword does not appear for the rest of the seed. No one likes doing Master Swords over this Ganon. Just the shovel over there on Mike's side over out of the Moldorm Cave. Almost has enough money for Zora. Probably considering farming a little bit if they don't find anything here in Ice Rod Cave. And our second medallion, the Quake Medallion.
Yeah, sitting alongside the big key to Skull Woods. So that could be an item there. And there's the book. Bottle Vendor. Selling some knowledge.
$100 for some literacy.
It's about the going rate for tutors, I believe.
Alright, I kind of like this out of Mike. Not quite enough money for Zora, so don't really worry about your flipper checks just yet, and use that water walk just to get yourself over to Kakariko. And that was, I think that was the Thieves Town Big?
It was.
Okay, so all of our pendants are now clearable. It's a little worrisome. So we'll have a plethora of items that we'll still be needing, including Fire Rod, Ice Rod, Samaria, and Flippers.
Yeah, and there are definitely a lot of checks left. But when you get all of those things pointing you toward Aga, it's really, really hard to ignore it.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's one of those things. It's like it's hard to start to follow your you want to follow your logic, but sometimes don't follow it too hard. It may be trying to fool you.
Yeah, especially if you have available checks that you can do.
But I'm actually quite amazed that we've actually found most of the big keys already. That's actually makes for quite interesting choices of where the runners can go. Gives them a lot of options. It'll be very interesting to see which ways they decide to go. I do like Sin's line of thinking here. You got your Master Sword, you got the book. Get Desert out of the way. Go do that Bombos tablet. Check Agina. Check Checkerboard Cave. Just sort of clear out this whole area that you can't quite get to with the flute just yet, because we can't quite get into the mire area. Or wait, you can go into the mire area after this. We can, wait, no, we don't have the mire yet. That's one thing. Inverted always trips me up just a little bit. It gives you that sort of like yes and no, like I know the logic, wait a minute. And you just sort of have to second guess yourself a little.
Yeah, all of that muscle memory that you spend so many years developing, it just gets inverted.
Yeah, and you can sort of understand why it was a favorite when Inverted just came out, to use it as a means to throw your opponent when it was one of the options given in the main tournament last year, or a couple years ago. You would throw it at your opponent and just hope that they would trip up on the logic somewhere and give you enough of an advantage to just beat them outright. There's all sorts of fun things that can happen, like having Moon Pearl on like Sick Kid or Blacksmith. That's just like really weird, quirky knowledge things. And some people really like to try and play on that. And there's the Ice Palace big key. So let's see, we're only missing one big key now. Or two big keys. We just need the pod and the swamp one, and we've gotten every big key.
Oh, and mitts on catfish.
That's an interesting find.
The mitts
First of all, glove lock glove.
Yeah.
Second of all, mitts in inverted. Mitts themselves don't necessarily unlock a lot, because other things unlock most of the general mitts checks. Mostly gives you access to like King's Tomb, and I believe that's about it. But then we'll be able to check for basically all of Death Mountain here, so definitely agree with the call to head up here. Meanwhile, Mike gonna dip the front of escape. One of those weird checks that in inverted you don't really go into that often, just because there's never really a good time to do it, except for after you've beaten Aga 1, and it doesn't. Everything we've seen so far, it doesn't look like we'll be visiting the wizard today. So.
And Sin picked up the Cane of Samaria in Super Bunny Cave. So the seed is just very generous.
Very much so. It's sort of just like giving you everything. I'm just waiting for the gotcha. The like, your fire rod or ice rod is somewhere just absolutely silly or otherwise. And so I'm gonna go rescue the old man in the dark here. Get it out of the way check, leaves you in the light world, go over to Paradox 5 and get all the checks over there in Paradox and Spiral, and head on up to Tower Hera and see what's going on in there. Maybe just do that while you're there. It's pendant, but it's two of the quickest checks, and you don't really want to leave it sitting on Death Mountain if you're going to complete the entirety of Death Mountain. No, Sin, you cannot spin speed with the old man, unfortunately. And as much as everyone likes to think picking up the bush does not actually speed you up, but going up the stairs with spin speed does actually affect you with the old man. I did not actually know that one, so that's good to know.
Okay, let's see what our wayward traveler has for us. And a pack of blueberries.
Well, at least he was kind enough to share some food with us.
Well, it's a long journey.
There's a green rupee up there on Spec Rock Cave. It looks like Mike is heading over to the potion shop area and go turn in that mushroom. Again, just one of those things of following your items. Just a battle for his trouble, but you know, never necessarily throw a free potion out like that, you know?
Yeah, especially with the limited health that we've seen thus far. The red mail helps, and probably at a point where they don't really need it. but
Mike
I
also
like
gonna make the
luxury.
trip to the mountain.
I like luxuries as much as everyone else.
I think that's kind of the point of luxuries, is they're kind of there to be liked, I think.
I don't know, they're not luxuries. It's still early here.
It's still early here too. Alright, just a shield from up there on the floating island ledge that has a bridge in inverted, so that you can get over to it. I'm getting a quick look at Mimic Cave here, which has our Tempered Sword. Very nice. Gonna be a fairly easy set of every dungeon from here on out, as it is. So I'm expecting to see Sin finish this out with quick dip on Ether Tablet, quick jaunt into Tower of Hera, followed by Spiral Cave, and then just start dungeon diving all the crystals.
Yeah, definitely in a good shape right now. Seed has been very, very generous, and I think it's gonna.
That's one of the things that
speed
always
up.
worries me, is a generous seed in the beginning, because then you always wonder what's going to be the gotcha.
Yeah. Why can't I have nice things?
Where are my flippers? What happened to my mirror? Mike with another fun way up the stairs with spin speed, holding a bomb over your head, or some Mario block also works. But I like doing those instead of the standard spin speed because you get the added effect of your sprite looking funny for a while. And we have a fire-locked big key.
Nice boots clip there.
Sin. Oh wait. Oh right, we have the big key. I was like, wait a minute. Shouldn't the key be in the basement? Like, oh right, big keys. Aha! I know what I'm doing. I'm paying attention. But that is a nice ice rod.
So that's one of the random items that will be totally necessary.
With Turtle Rock on the table, absolutely, and it's very nice to have been found. Nobody likes an ice rod hunt.
And this item is half magic.
So we did see both the map and the compass, so there is an item in the basement still, so... one of those things that may be bugging you for a little while, the rest of the seed, if things start to not turn up. I definitely would like to see us find like the mirror or something soon and start doing some fun stuff in like TR and maybe find our usual progression there, because let's just face it, everyone knows there's always progression in TR, except when there's not.
Yeah, I generally just assume that the ice rod's gonna be there, but we don't have to worry about that today.
Yeah, for me it's not usually ice rod, it's usually flippers. Sometimes even fire rod, because this game has jokes. It likes to play games with us sometimes, and it's just like, you know, you're gonna have to go all the way to Laser Bridge today to get your fire rod. But if this game didn't have jokes, we wouldn't like it as much, right?
Totally. I think, I mean, right now I want to be a little hesitant of saying this, but it's shaping up right now that the joke is how quickly can you finish this seed?
How fast can you go and build your dungeons? Yeah. That could be an interesting one. Now, Sin cleaning up those checks that Mike was just doing over in the South Shore. Mike getting into Hera real fast. That's going to get his Ice Rod and quick Moldorm kill here. Not quite lined up right with that bomb first time. There you go, Mike.
It didn't look like very much in Mini Moldorm.
Yeah, as I recall, while Mike was going through here, we didn't see much in the South Shore Loop. Now, Mike didn't do the fake flipper check, so I would actually expect to see Sin go through with that here, considering the amount of money that he has compared to when Mike was through. So that'll include 2 checks on Waterfall Ferry and 2 checks in the Zora area itself, and if something's there, that could be really big for Sin.
Yeah, it would be a long time before Mike gets back to those.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, unless the flippers turn up in a very quick manner. To sort of just give you that nudge of like, hey, remember the Zora area exists, you should go there. There's our other green rupee friend there on the island. So both green rupees visible. Little funny. Alright, I almost forgot to mention Hobo within the water checks. Having our a piece of whole heart for us today. A little bit of love for us. And Mike gonna get in his Dark Death Mountain checks here between Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny, and check out what's going on in the TR Medallion state of the world. I'd be curious to see if he opens up TR, considering that they have Ether, and that Samaria was right there. You could go in the front and poke around just a little bit. I'm actually somewhat surprised that Sin didn't dip into Turtle Rock at all either.
Yeah, when that the fire rod's in that very first chest, it'd be just kind of a little reminder of, oh, could have done this.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Kind of hoping Mike does pop in, because my curiosity is there for what Turtle Rock has awaiting for us. And not much out of the water checks, so let's see if Mike changes his mind about Turtle Rock once he picks up the red cane here. Definitely looked like he thought about it a second. This does look like he'll be heading into Turtle Rock. Nope, changes his mind. Not sure if that felt more of a like, I can't do Turtle Rock, or I don't want to do Turtle Rock. I think it fell more in line of the I don't want to do Turtle Rock. Yeah, check out Meyer and see what's going on there, because Meyer is actually completable. Not wholly entirely in logic, because Firelock side and Viddy technically needing the lamp, but absolutely completable by our runners here, because by this point, you have to know Dark Rooms. We would have gotten this far in League. Instead, making their way back to the chess game, not forgetting about it, so good for them. Get their Desert Big. Don't know if that'll actually be anything, but Sort of like both angles of the what the runners are tackling right now, because Sin is chasing basically after the glove checks that he found, and Mike going after Meyer and trying to stay inside of completable crystals. And there's the lamp on the smiths. So that is an interesting find, to say the least.
The first fire source.
So it puts a lot of things into logic, and I'm wondering if that old adage will become true within randomizers that I've noticed. Of just like, fire tends to lock fire, not all the time, but it has a it likes to do that. You'll find your fire rod behind Bombos, or
exactly. Fire rod behind Bombos happens so many times. I find it just funny.
And we did get our ped check, so we will not be visiting that today. Only a bunch of rupees on there, so. Running through a lot of Maya real quick. So far, I believe that shield is our first item that we've seen. Everything else has been keys, map, or compass so far.
I just noticed the background music on StructuralMike's side. That's great.
Yeah, I'm trying to place which exact MSU this is. It's one of the it's one of them. I can't think of the wording I was going for there, but. The chat point, I believe it's Super Mario RPG. Mike doing the bonk setup for the switch there in the first Dark Mire room. I learned about that setup a couple months ago and have not stopped using it since. I've been trying to share it to everyone. It's such a nice and easy setup. And very, very consistent, and I just love it. It makes Dark Mire just so much easier, because a lot of the struggle is just getting past that first room. So I would definitely recommend, if you're a newer player and you're trying to learn Dark Mire, if you got the boots, if you got the hook shot, learn it that way. And it's so nice. Sin now also following Mike's path into Mire. Gonna get a little bit more out of it though, because he does have the lamp, so he'll be able to check the firelock side before going to Biddy. Meanwhile, blink and you'll miss it, and the giant eye is dead on Mike's side. For the mirror, that is a find.
Yeah, that's one of the great instances where silver speeds it up so fast.
So that mirror is nice because that gives us access to Swamp, which is another one of our crystals, so nice for sort of routing and just keeping your nose to dungeons, which is one of the other things that you'd like to be doing if you can help it. Just always be doing your crystals. So still in a fun state of trying to watch exactly what both these runners are doing, because I want to see how both of these pan out between Mike going to desert and potentially swamp after here, and Sin being able to check the Firelock side here in just a little bit. And that hope for Mike's sake that nothing really important is over on the Firelock side.
Yeah, much like the water checks, this would take a long time to get back to.
Yeah, especially since it's one of those things with dungeons. If you abandon an item in a dungeon, when really is an opportune time to go back? And the answer is usually never.
Yeah, unfortunately, your opponent probably finishes before you go back to it.
And that's never fun. Unless, of course, it's one of those fun seeds in which you and your opponent both do that, and both have to go back for those required double dips of dungeons, or even, dare I say, triple dips sometimes. And that on Desert Ledge there was half of the community's favorite boomerang, the other boomerang still in question somewhere. And now, just a moment, be able to see what that last fire locked check-in mire is here. Oh no!
Oh, no!
It is fire locked fire.
Oh, that is rough.
Oh, Mike. Oh no. I hope logic is able to point you in a way that you make it back to that soon. Fire Rod is unfortunately one of those items that, while very required to finish some of the bosses, at least especially in this seed, does not inherently unlock a whole lot. So there's going to be a lot that we can do before Mike can really even think about going back to that.
Well, there's a lot Mike needs before he can go back at all.
I mean, that's true, but he still has a lot of the world open to him between going able to go to like Swamp Palace, do most Skull Woods. He can access a good portion of TR, finishing Desert, finishing Pot if we ever find the big key, as well as all the pennant dungeons that are still available.
Yeah,
and once he finds those mitts.
Yeah, in order to get there, has to go to Catfish to get the mitts.
Yeah, so it's a little locked for him right now, and ooh, that's, well, actually no, you don't need the mitts to get the smith in this, because you can mirror into the can you mirror into the smith? Yes. I didn't think about that one a minute. So no, again, it's one of those weird inverted things.
Oh, yeah.
Because they cleared the bushes to the left of the library, so you can mirror down in there, grab the smith, and hop back over into the light world. That's why I was mentioning a little bit earlier that the Titan's mitts are a nice convenience item, but usually not inherently required, only really for King's Tomb in like some niche cases. I'm trying to remember if Sin continued the Smith chain and finished the purple chest. I don't think he did, so that's still available. Looking at what's on the table entirely, though, we're just really missing flippers and pod big for go mode. Like, for what little dungeons we have done, but most of the like overworlds being completely done, like that's not too bad. I think one thing that could definitely help Mike out, though, is if the pod big is in a very strange sort of location that Sin's gonna not want to go to first. that may give him a little bit of a hand, just based on their loadouts and not having, you know, myths or a fire source. Like, I can definitely see Sin not wanting to do Eastern or one of the pendants, and if it does end up being in there, that could give Mike the time that he needs in order to go back and get that fire rod.
Yeah, and the fact that all of the bosses have items, I think makes it a little more likely that they would check the pendant, like Eastern. But still, it's always kind of a feels bad.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that for a moment, that because this is technically inversion, not just regular inverted, that we do have boss items, so... And Sin getting a pretty decent moth fight in there. Give him a little bit of trouble, but not too bad. Gets the powder for his troubles. Nice safety. Even though we're already on 13 hearts, red, male, silver is tempered, but never say no to powder.
Plus, you get to check.
So, someone offers you free powder, you take it. Powder's not cheap.
That's what I learned growing up in the 80s also. Okay, so where's Sin going now?
I guess it looks like he's
Gonna do the
bat, I think?
Yeah, the hammer's out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a quick check. It's one of your last Light World checks in the Kakariko area. Get it out of the way. Maybe mirror and do purple chest real fast. And then go into swamp / maybe Skull Woods. And there's one of the things that Mike kind of needed to swing it his way a little bit. The flippers on Green Pennant Armos. I don't know how soon we see Sin going there, and that flippers being there also reminded me, hey, Sin can't go into Swamp Palace just yet.
And at the exact same time, Sin was getting the Swamp Palace big, which is not required, but does afford an extra check.
Yep, for all we know, that could be where the pod big is tucked away, so... Sin making liberal use of the hook shot there to get some dashes in with the purple chest that you normally can't do. Chat pointing out, yes, finding the flippers and such is going to direct Mike a little bit away from running back to Meyer, but like I said, it depends on how things end up ultimately and whether it helps Mike more than it hurts Sin, that item being there. And that's sort of the interesting way that the rest of the seed is going to sort of play out, is to what advantages is finding the items where we found them so far going to be the big game changer. Nothing on the purple chest, so done with that trading chain.
And then we just have to wait and find out when Mike does it.
Oh, this is actually really good for Mike. He's going to mirror and get his myth, and that may remind him, hey, I can do the smiths. Because while we were pointing out earlier, not required to do the Smiths in inverted. You have those habits, those normal logic things that's like, oh hey, I can do these checks now, that just sort of fall into line with your normal expectations. And it also just hit me why earlier Mike didn't finish out Desert, is that's because he didn't have a fire source earlier. Ha! I'm smart. I know how logic works and how players play games. Mike denying those fresh blueberries from Zora, and then be heading out here. And I'm curious as to where Mike goes from here. Because rather than saving quitting, we're running out of the Zora area.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. And how I don't see that very often.
Might be running to pick up a potion or two, just change out like a red for a blue, or heading for one of the whirlpools or something here. He's definitely got some sort of plan. I'm just not certain what it is.
Yeah, possibly over to Swamp. No?
King's Tomb. Yeah, that makes sense. Don't abandon that. There's not really a good, easy way to sort of get to King's Tomb in inverted, since you don't have the Sank start. Sin heading back to Lambo now. Mike, where are we going? Looks like we're going to Swamp now. Gonna follow the flippers a little more.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know if Mike gets back to that chest. Meyer.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be interesting when they decide to pull the trigger back on that well, on the Smiths for one, and then two, Meyer. But after a while, you are just going to start coming up empty, and the same thing will happen for Sin with finding those flippers on Armos. So. And also the matter of where exactly we're going to find Pod Big along the way. Is it going to be in one of the checks that sort of Mike is skipping, like Swamp Big here? Which, for my case, I do hope that Mike isn't skipping on that. Or will it be something that maybe Sin decides to skip because he feels, hey, I'm close enough to go mode. All I need is that Pod Big and flippers. Like, I can skip a couple checks here and there. Oh, not actually something interesting. That is something that that could help Mike out a little bit if he's paying attention to his logic, because that that mirror is fire locked, and what we know about the fire rod being also fire locked, there's not a lot of places that the lamp can really be to get you access to that mirror. So. He'll probably at least find the lamp soon. And that should start pushing him towards fire checks. And then giving us a good look at Laser Bridge here.
Yeah, I definitely hope I'm wrong, but that one seems like it would be the very, very last fire check to do.
Yes, and Sin showing us one of the fun things about inverted. We're having a little bit of a backwards TR from what our usual is, where all the items are usually on Laser Bridge. All of the keys today are on Laser Bridge. I believe that was 3 keys. That was 3 keys, so you weren't getting very far if you went to the front. Though the front is where the big key could still be, so... But you're not going to hop out and go in through the front now. At this point, you're just going to go through backwards until you have everything, and then mirror, and go try next.
Very nice Argus fight.
Yes, using that gold sword at every opportunity you can. Quicksilver arrow to finish him off.
Just about as good as you can get.
So let's see, we didn't check big chest because we don't have the big key. And does Mike go back in for left side? He does not. Decides I have elsewhere to be. Looks like I have a smith to pick up. So I'm gonna get his fire source at least.
This is definitely what he needs to be doing.
In the grand scheme of things, yes. It's just a matter of what else will he need to do to drive him to Mire, and that's basically running out of every other check. Because unfortunately there's a lot of things that are going to be on the table for Mike, like going to TR without the fire rod, or yeah, Mike, you can't mirror with the Smith in the Dark World and inverted. I've been there and done that.
So now we get to start wondering where that pod big key is.
And I like this. Sin using the fact that they found the big key, we're able to go to try next and killing the boss to go back into the front to finish these last couple checks up here just a little bit quicker without having to traverse the entirety of TR just to get them.
Yeah, one of the classic cross keys moves also.
Sometimes very required in cross keys. Because sometimes that's your first access to that exit. Although it looks like we should have been paying just a little bit more attention to the items because we got nothing but maps, compasses, and a key up there. We had technically finished out Turtle Rock with everything that we had checked. So that's a little bit of time burned by Sin given to Mike that he greatly needs. So Mike, heading into finish up Desert here, chat pointed out a little bit earlier that Mike may go into Mire and clean it up while he's here. I'm not entirely sure I see him doing that, but it's definitely on the table of plays that he can make. And if he does make that play, things will actually be looking fairly good for him, and Sin making the play to the eastern area, gonna get his flippers, so... We'll be looking pretty good after he picks those up. Personally, I'm not sure I think both runners did this too, going to Saha when you have a completable green pendant eastern first. If that's in your plans, I would personally do eastern first and just make the one trip over to Saha, but that's me.
Yeah, there's nothing you would find in Saha that would change your trip.
I mean, the only thing that would change your trip to Eastern would be like if you did find exactly both items that you needed for go mode, or the flippers to dissuade you from going into Eastern. Like, I can sort of understand it, but it's like, if you're going to make the play into the Eastern area, try to do it kind of more efficiently. But like I said, that's on the runner's choice. It's what you think is the right call. And I can certainly understand it, at least because Saha has 3 quick checks, and you may end up not going to Harmos and bailing on the item that's back there, so... It's sort of that give and take, like, where do you want to put your bets? Also, yeah, that is another thing that might be on Mike's mind is, hey, I have access to Pyramid Fairy now.
Nope, on his way out.
Yeah, I didn't think so. There's only one item down in there, and it's Firelock side. No one likes doing Firelock side to begin with, and on top of that, we know that it's in the cutscene chest, so... On top of everything, that just dissuades you very much. Mike looking like he's going to make the Fire Rodless play into TR now. I'm looking. Mike is still locked out of ice, where Sin can head into ice. And other than that, Thieves Town really hasn't been checked. I'm trying to think what else is really we haven't seen yet that could be hiding our pod big. And just sort of a recap, because we do have a quick question in chat. What is Inversia? Inversia is a mode where, instead of in the light world, Link starts in the dark world. Particular to Inversia, because it is using the inverted world state. You start with a sword, because make things a little easier, give you a little bit of combat. And some other certain logical requirements. Inversia specifically, again, using the inverted world state, has the big key shuffled throughout the world, except for the GT big key, which is guaranteed to be in Ganon's Tower somewhere, as well as all the bosses guaranteed having a non-dungeon item on them, so not a key, not a map or compass. They have some sort of arrows or progression item, or otherwise item of note, you would say.
Now, can one of the other dungeon big keys be on the boss?
Yes, because the big keys are considered a item instead of just like a key, they can be on bosses as well. So big keys can be on bosses.
Gotcha.
And Mike here in just a moment gonna get his last accessible item to him, as well as the big key, and be done here in TR until he gets that fire rod. Killing the Pokés in here for some reason. Oh, big chest, that's right. I think about that a moment. Like, why are we going this way? I unfortunately didn't see what was in the compass room there in Ice Palace for Sin.
Yeah, I was looking at StructuralMike's side, so I missed it also.
Well, it doesn't look like we found anything super important. Brain is looking over, it's like, nope, all those items are still there. Yep, we're still missing Pod Big, so... Nice quick icebreaker from Sin. We'll make this a fast traversal through Ice Palace here.
Okay, what fire checks are you gonna go for now, Mike?
I'm trying to think of what he has left in general. So he has all of Thieves Town, finishing off, well, he can't finish off Skull Woods, Hera Basement, the one check in Mire, Spike Cave, just remembering that, which looks like we're heading there. Trying to think, I think that's about it. Like, we are actually running out of checks where things could be for Mike, because it's looking like our Pod Big is going to be in a dungeon somewhere. My guess, probably Thieves Town, because the game just loves to do oops all dungeons. You need to go to Armos for your flippers. Thieves Town for the Pod Big, probably. Did we have anything in Hera?
No. I believe Hera was blank. Though I don't know if they did the basement.
Correct, there's still an item left in the basement somewhere. Yeah, Mike, don't forget that bomb. The big red bomb, very similar to the purple chest in that you can dash with it only under certain conditions, and yeah, it makes things a little fun sometimes. Sid making quick work of Cold Stare there. And that is the big key to Pod. So we are in no mode. Mike just needs his fire rod. And Sin needs to finish Swamp Palace into Big Red Bomb, which he's going to do fairly quickly here. And it's sort of looking like even if Mike gets that, goes back for the fire rod pretty soon, Sin seems to be in a sort of lead. It's hard to say, but it certainly has that feel to it just because of having Turtle Rock already done, and he's on the path to pick up that Pod Big key, it seems. So while Mike is running out of checks, and we'll probably find that fire rod soon, I'm not sure he can make up for that deficit, but it'll be interesting to see if he can. because at the very least here, Sin is one item from go, and likely doesn't skip left side swamp, or at the very least goes back in for it, especially having the big key to swamp. It is a little difficult to hear you, Stags, unfortunately. I think something may have happened with your microphone.
Oh, sorry about that. Is that better?
That is better.
So he still can't get into ice. So, I mean, that could steer him there. Every second, though.
Yeah, like I was saying, he's getting very directed towards what little he has left, but I don't know how much that makes up for what Sin has already done and just needs to do to finish out. Because as I said, Sin's sort of on that path to just casually find that pot big. To answer another question in chat, do the players pick the flag sets? There are set things in place for the playoffs where game 1 is specifically a casual boot seed, game 2 is cross keys, and then game 3 the runners pick from 4 or 5 modes. I'm an admin, I should know this. I believe it's 4 modes. Yes, Inrosia, Swordless, Open Heart MC Shuffle, and Open Heart Enemizer. And if the series goes to a game 4, the other team picks the game 4 seed with a ban on the previously picked mode. And game 5 is co-op retrons. Sin finishing off Argus there. I'm gonna see if he heads back in to left side swamp. Mike biting the bullet, going into Mire here now, gonna get his fire rod. And we'll see what sort of time he can make up. Alright, Sin not heading into left side swamp here. Heading directly to Big Red Bomb, it looks like.
Well, that's going to be good news for Sin.
Yep, he'll be in go mode momentarily, and so technically Mike, but like we said, Mike has a bit of ground to catch up. Because while a lot of what he has to do is generally fast, it's added up over all this time. Sin just has to jump over and finish pod. He has to go to the back of Skullwoods, kill Moth, go all the way down to Cold Stare, and jump in and kill Trinex. So a little bit on Mike's plate at the moment, but both runners will be in go mode very shortly. Sin having just picked up his a moment ago. Yeah, chat pointing out that even though that Mike does have all this down, it could come down to something such as like GT routing. For example, if Sin decides to full clear and it's in the GT big key is in tile room, and Mike decides to go straight to tile room for some reason, like that could make a huge difference.
You know, Mike probably is gonna think that he needs to gamble to win some coups.
Yeah, having fire like that definitely doesn't feel good, especially having to go back into mire like that. You always have that sort of wonder as a runner, like, oh god, did my opponent find this before me? So Mike might be feeling that right now, so...
Especially with the lamp so easily accessible with the smiths.
Yes, considering that it was just on Catfish, and Catfish is in logic once you have your East Dark World access in your glove, so once we had Light World access, because Myth was our intended route to get the Smith, not the mirror. Each of the runners here trying to quickly finish off those dungeons they have to do.
And
Mike wasting no time.
Correctly identifying go mode and
Just only grabbing what's needed and saying, hey, this doesn't feel good, that lamp didn't feel good, that fire rod didn't feel good, let's get going as quickly as possible, we're not stopping for anything.
so it's not a done deal yet. So there is still a little bit of running to do.
Indeed, as we were saying, there's still finding the GT big key, climbing up that mountain, killing the pig. There's still a good bit of time left on the seed left to take care of. It's just, can Mike execute his way and maybe get a little bit lucky to catching up to what Sin has finished?
Well, it looks like we have a GT big key guessing game started. 22 checks.
Yeah, go ahead and get your guesses in chat. We don't have anything, the bot anymore. That has gone defunct, unfortunately, with officially doing full numbers like that, but...
And I'm going 14 is my usual go-to.
14's a good favorite. I'm gonna put in for guessing in the hope for Mike's sake that we're on the 22 today, just to make this race a little bit closer, because I love a good close race. And no key in hope room, so Sin is going to head left side now. As Mike heads over to Trinex, it's bodied a little bit by that mini Helma. Gets everyone, one of the best guards on that bridge.
And with Gold Sword, this is going to be a very, very quick Trinex fight.
Okay, I believe that was 2 keys so far that we found chests, so... trying to think. I'm always actively trying to remember how the GT key logic works, and based on how many keys you find in the front and all that. Like, I think this might mean that the big key is. If I had to guess, it's probably behind Ice Armos at this point. Could be in one of the other locations still, but right now the hottest spot in my mind is behind Ice Armos. If I know my key logic correctly. Oh, nope, it is Rando Room. One of the fun facts about the way that the randomization works, if you find a small key in Rando Room or Compass Room, I believe it's specifically those rooms, finding the small key means that the big key is in that room. Now, that doesn't work the other way around. If you find the big key, that there will be a small key there, but if there is a small key there, the big key has to be there.
So it looked like that was 13 for the big key then?
Oh, I forgot to completely count. Big key was in the last check there that he checked. Yeah, I think it was the last check because the top right was the small key. So
Yeah, that was 13 then. So,
or 14, I think. Actually, are you sure? Because
No, I'm not
two
sure.
two hope, one torch.
And then 4 for Stalfos.
That's 7, and then Fire Snake and Firebar, that's 9. Right? And then, okay, yeah, I just can't count. I'm bad at math. This is why I don't do math things.
And it's always hard to do that on the air. So
Counting is hard.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can't count. I'm great at math. I cannot count. Wandering Stone had 13. So congratulations on some undisclosed number of internet points. Please don't spend them all in the same place.
Yes, we do not know how many you got, nor where you found them, but please make sure you put them back when you are done. And Mike picking up his 7th crystal, going to be heading over to GT here now in just a moment. Pretty standard tower climb for Sin here. Very, very casual. Very fast run, just between having all that health, the red mail, fire rod, half magic, silver's gold sword, basically everything that you could ever want in the GT climb. Just making quick work of everything.
So while StructuralMike is working his way over to the tower and Sin is doing climb, please remember to give our runners a follow. They're doing a great job here for you today.
Yeah, definitely go follow them. They're putting on a good show for you today. Playing their heart out, trying to get their teams into the Invitational League next year, trying to win out the Open League here this season. Like, definitely worth your time. Both these runners, very, very good runners. Also, otherwise very active in the community. I know Mike does a lot of crazy and fun and weird statistic stuff that always just blows my mind whenever I see it. Just, this is constantly like, hey, here's some new data that might just be fun to look at, whether it's just like ladder stats or other weird little things.
So down goes Aga 2. And looks like we're gonna get set for our luau.
Yep, gonna kill us a pig. Roast him, butter him. Sin getting in some dash strats here from the bottom left corner. And like we mentioned, has pretty much all the sages you could ever want in the world. A few potions stocked up. Silvers. This is going to be a very quick phase for quick roasting the pig. Pending, again, deciding to be nice and not doing like 37 teleports. Nope, not too many teleports today. Fairly nice Ganon. Because, some days he's just like, I want to go on a little adventure. And we're going to go see and explore all of the room.
Sin finishing Ganon off with the triple.
Very nice. Always nice to see a triple here. One of these days, we'll get to see the quad on stream, and I am just going to lose my mind.
I've never seen that. Get your GGs in chat for Sin2324, though.
GGs. That gives Inrod, we trust, the first match that they needed to stay alive in this set here versus Last Occasioneers. So they will be moving on to Game 4, putting one of their players against each other of choice. With, I believe, who was the top seed in this set? Let me take a look real quick. We had Last Occasioneers were the top seed, so it'll be Inrod we trust getting the choice of seed in this next game here. And Mike, finding the big key, puts in the forfeit, finishing up here. Get your GGs in there from Mike. This was a little bit of a rude seed just based on where some of those items were. And we do now have Mike in here with us. GG, Mike.
Thanks, everyone. That was an interesting race.
It was certainly a seed.
Yeah. So maybe you guys can fill me in on what happened, because Sin had to run away, so I don't know how it played out in comparison to the horrific mess I ended up in.
You guys were both fairly level for quite a while. Sin went to Catfish relatively early and got the mitts, and then did the Smith check pretty quickly. So, Sin had the fire rod.
On the first trip to Mire.
Yeah. That was the one thing. You got through Mire first, but couldn't go to the left side. And when we were watching it, when we saw what was there, I think in unison, we both said, "Oh no."
Yeah,
it was just that realization.
Oh no, yeah.
That realization of, oh no, Mike's not going to be coming back to this for a long while.
Yeah, and when I eventually did get Lamp, there was just, I could do dungeons and I could dip TR, and it was just took me some time to actually have a good reason in my mind to go back and check Mire.
Yeah, exactly, because there's just so much open to you and still open to you from the other items that you had found, just all the big keys that you had found, like, before you even started thinking about dungeons. It was just like there was never really good opportunity just to be like, hey, I want to go check that one item in Fire-Locked Mire.
Mm.
I mean, it would have, in hindsight, it would have been the right move, but it would have seemed completely irrational and irresponsible to have done that earlier.
Yeah. But as soon as I went in my first Dark World trip, and I ended up with I had Desert Palace access early, but no fire source. I started to worry about the fire sources, and it turned out to be the key to this whole seed. And I just tried to delay desert because you want to have fire source before you go there. And then I ended up on the mountain in the end, and okay, I can go to Meyer because I found the Sumaria. I just finished Meyer because I got the big key, screwed the left side. Maybe I find the fire source behind lamp here. And then I got mirror and flippers, and like, this has to end. This has to end. But eventually then, like, I really wanted to get back in logic. So I was fully aware of how out of logic everything was all the time. So following up with mid checks was priority after I got the bits in logic.
Yeah, ultimately the difference was Sin was able to go mode a couple of dungeons right at the end, and you had the checks in them.
Yeah, it was just a lot of the like. Sin had already finished a lot of the dungeons that you were unfortunately had to double dip, like TR and such. It was just like you hit go mode at approximately the same time. Like Sin, I think maybe like 30 seconds ahead of go mode, but you still had a couple dungeons to finish off. So it was just like, it's close, but
yeah, that extra trip to the mountain to TR for nothing was really bad.
But certainly an understandable play, because it's like you look at it, it's like the fire rod could well be in TR. It does that all the time, especially in inverted.
Yeah, it was lamp locked as well, and I figured, well, this weird lamp location probably locks fire rod because otherwise I just get fire rod instead. So that's why I never went back into Thieves Town, for example, because that's not a lamp locked location. And ultimately, I did not last locate it. I had Hera Basement and Thieves Town left, so go me.
Hey, at least finding it a little bit for last location feels a little bit better, at least.
Yeah, Sin was just quicker and got a better route, and you gotta be a little bit quicker, a little bit more lucky, and GG's to them.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any sort of idea who we're going to be seeing in Game 4?
I think we have decided, but we're not 100% sure yet. But it might be similar to last time, that Sam takes the game and then we do veterans and in Scottish. But we'll sort that out soon enough. Now, when we know it's a Game 4 and maybe even a Game 5, who knows?
Who knows? Maybe we'll set a league record for Game 5s this season.
Yeah, for sure. Man. Yeah, and that's the end of Ambrosia for this week. I hope you get more of it. It's a really fun mode.
Yeah, so the pick is on Inrada We Trust for Game 4. Do you have any sort of like expectation what you think they may try to pick against you guys, or what you're maybe hoping to see, or kind of sort of keep that a little bit in the confidentials of like maybe they pick something that we're actually secretly strong at?
Oh, we're excellent in every mode. Don't worry. It will be fine whatever they pick. No, but we know Sin is an excellent mystery player that loves to play mystery, so they're very comfortable with Enemizer and Swordless and all these things. And like nobody likes MC Shuffle, right? Or because it's so boring.
It's so boring, right? But it seems to be getting picked like one of the highest ones, right up there. Like so far, we've had a lot of MC Shuffle, we've had a lot of Ambrosia.
Yeah, MC Shuffle is it's not a mystery and mode, right? But if you like mystery, you probably enjoy Enemizer and Swordless more. So I expect Zen to pick one of those two because they are a mystery player.
Yeah, I think we've seen a couple of Enemizers, and I believe only one Swordless so far, and it's being picked a second time by the same runner. So
yeah, Well, yeah. Was there anything else interesting happening in the inverted sea that was surprising to the viewers or the commentators?
It was kind of a fairly straightforward seed. I was really hoping that when you had found the flippers on Armos, that was going to be a check that Sin had kind of put off for a little while, just to sort of give you a little bit more of an edge and chance to like come back and make up some of that time.
Hmm.
It was definitely a really fast start. You guys both got progression super quickly.
Yeah, and like I was saying, just like with the availability of like all the big keys and just how early they all were, like you guys had pretty much every big key except for Pod and Swamp by like the 20 or 30 minute mark or something like that, or something kind of silly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I looked over to my track, like, wait, I'm not missing any big key except pod. What happened?
Where did I get all these big keys from?
Yeah, I didn't even notice I got all big keys. I was like, yeah, this is a big key, whatever. I need fire rod.
This isn't the item that I need.
Yeah. So no, I'm always hoping for a weird moon pearl in inverted, and when you get moon pearl right off the gate, it's not as interesting. It gets more straightforward in a way. It's the weird moon pearl locations that really makes Inrosha, I think.
Yeah, like it definitely gives it some more of the flavors compared to the other modes where it's like, you get your Moon Pearl on like Sick Kid or Blacksmith or one of those just really off and out there like Mire Shed like checks.
Yeah, or the seeds where you expect it to do agony, but you could sequence break it with current jump, and even if you do, is it really saving you time? You know, those sort of plays are super interesting as well. So too bad it wasn't one of those, but still got that fire hunt to keep the race entertaining.
Yeah, so looks like we're gonna be closing out here in just a moment. Any final thoughts you have on the seed, Mike? Or
Tire logic is hard, and I hope it goes better next time. And you know, not to take away from Sin's win, it was a great win for them. I just hope we win next time.
I mean, that's all you can hope for, right? Is good competition.
Yeah, yeah, and thanks to everyone for putting together a restream. Really, really solid work. It's always fun.
Alright, so that'll about do us for today. Like you said a little bit earlier, give these runners a follow. Make sure you're checking out everything that they do, from ALTTPR to anything else, any other ventures that these runners may undertake. Check out my co-com Stags. Check out Scottish Brave. She does a lot of wonderful fun running and work. Also one other member of Last Locationeers here. Give our restreamer Oro a follow. If you like, check me out. I do some streaming stuff too. But other than that, we got a lot more league action still left in the playoffs here. We got a couple more. I think we have one more game coming up today, one or two more games, and another game tomorrow. 2 games tomorrow, actually. So keep an eye out for those matches. And hey, if you want to get in on some volunteering, commentate some matches, track some matches, make sure you're in the league Discord. Make sure you hit up those volunteer roles, and we'd love to hear from you.
It's a lot of fun getting out here. So everyone should give it a try.
So with that, we will bid you a good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Have a great rest of your day, whatever is left of it.